Today's date is July 24 and it is 2017. My lesson today is titled Samuel Answered. Samuel in the scriptures is presented to us in the same lineup as Moses. If we look here at Jeremiah chapter 15 and verse 1, it says, "Then said the Most High unto me, Though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight, and let them go forth." And then if we look in Psalm 99 verse 6, and then if we look in Psalm 99 verse 6, it says, "Moses and Aaron among his priests, and Samuel among them that call upon his name. They called upon the Most High, and he answered them." So we're seeing that Samuel is put right up there with people like Moses as well. One who ministered before the Most High, as the scriptures teach, and he stood out as his own, on his own footing as he grew and learned the Most High, and he carried a lot of weight in the scriptures. He definitely is someone that Israel was looking toward at that time, because the Most High raised him up for that purpose. The scriptures are teaching that he didn't know the Most High at a certain point. It's very clear on that. And as I go through my own questioning of certain things in the scriptures, it becomes clear to me that I don't really know as much as I thought I knew. And so many other people as well. And some people get so scared because of the things I'm questioning. I'm asking questions about this Hebrew language and, the age of Adam, the age of the earth, things like that. Some of these are questions other people have asked, probably all of them. And but what I find is that people who feel like they own some franchise on the Creator don't want you to question certain things, because that's just for unbelievers. And once you are on the inside of people, the group of people who believe in the Most High, especially if you say that you're an Israelite, there are certain questions you shouldn't ask, certain things you shouldn't question. Now, if you're going to question them, just make it be some low-level kind of questioning, where you can just read a page from a book, or somebody just tells you in your church or your camp, and in one session you know the answer because you've gotten it, and that's the end of the story, and now you can knock down any other question or issue on the earth that has to deal with that. But I find that in my questioning, that's not really so true, and some people feel somewhat offended and quite scared that I'm questioning certain things, because they feel I'm going off track. And so I wanted to show us something here, that to question things is not really a problem, because how are you going to learn if you don't really search and seek? The Bible speaks a lot about seeking, a daily seeking. You're searching. And there are a number of times in the scriptures where some people were just questioning things in life and questioning the whole, operation of the children of Israel, questioning the Creator's tactics, his moves, his creation, how he does things. And sometimes he would throw questions back to them and ask them as well, were you there when I did this? Were you there when I did that? How did this happen? How did whatever? And by that, they could see the greatness of the Creator. But it's important to understand that without such questioning, at times these same people who we love to quote today, these same prophets, they would not have in turn gotten those other questions and responses from the Most High that brought them a lot of insight into these issues that they were looking at, and that showed them the greatness of the Creator that they were really dealing with and who had called them. People today have lost that kind of deepness for questioning, and our questioning only goes so far as our teacher bids us question, only goes so far as the pages on a book that we bought off the shelves of a Christian bookstore or online. We only ask the questions as far as, or as deep as the questions are asked and answered on the pages of a book that we just bought for $14.95. As soon as that author tells you the answer, you've got it all, you know it all, and it's like 20 years later you're still running with that and you don't need to question anything else. So I'm not saying one should not be sure of certain things, but with the way that deception just runs rampant in the earth, you got to be doing a lot more questioning and asking and searching. You got to even question some of the things that you've been told are true in the past. Right? You've got to question them. Even the things that you already have asked deeply and you've gotten answers for, you got to question continually. Because you might not necessarily get a different answer to something that you've questioned a lot before. But by questioning it again, you might learn something new that links to that. And so when you feel, I have arrived, I know the answer to this, I know we're Israelite and whatever, it's like you've arrived. There's nothing else you can be taught in that area. And with the world being so great and the Most High saying, generation come and go all the time, but generations come and go, but the earth remains, the earth abides. That means that if generations are coming and going, they are building up on what's here already and leaving, they are themselves unearthing and leaving a whole lot of information themselves that even talks about the Creator and the greatness of the Creator. So anybody who is not still asking is going to just have less information in the end. And when they're getting ready to, in the future, pressure the life out of us to prove to us that we are not the children of Israel and so on and whatever they want to do, you're going to be at a loss wishing that you had studied more. Because if you think they're just sitting down twiddling their thumbs, just waiting for us to tell them that we're the Israelite, like they don't already know that. They're sitting down thinking of how they can deal with us, how they can bash our heads in intellectually. Now, of course, they're not going to be able to do that, so that's when they're going to take other action. Because when they can't stop us, right? But there's going to be a real strong, like you've never seen before, intellectual / biblical war on earth. Right? You're going to see something that is so great that everybody who says they know the Most High, everybody who says they know God from whatever religion, and everybody who says they're an Israelite are going to have to tune their ears into that conversation. That conversation in the future will be a war of words. And if you think governments aren't interested in what the Bible has to say, wait till that war breaks out and you will see government getting all up into what the Bible says. Because they're going to have to, everybody from every walk of life is going to have to come together in some kind of way to deal with the war of words that's going to happen, because this world was built by word, let there be, and it's going to end by a word. As the Most High raises up by word of prophecy being fulfilled, his people, who he spoke of by a word and said, I'm going to deliver you again, I'm going to pull you out of these lands and so on. As he raises them up by a word that he's fulfilling, the same way he took them down by a word that they refused to live by, when they refused to live by his Torah, you get to understand that this world runs off word. And so if you aren't interested in getting more words and in questioning more words and digging some more into the words you already know, you're going to be at a disadvantage one of these days. So the scripture here is saying that Samuel did not know. Didn't, he said he didn't know the Most High yet in that certain kind of way. And he wanted to understand just what was going on, which is just the same as me asking these questions that seem so strange. I'm wondering, when did Adam really live? So some people are getting so scared, like they think I'm an idiot. The Bible says we should question things, and wisdom comes by searching and seeking, and let their pastor or their camp leader tell them some basic things. Then they're fine with that. They don't mind. But if someone questions really deeply, and instead of asking the regular 5 questions to their teacher, if they want to ask 25 questions further, we got to watch that person. We got to watch them. When really you have to understand that the deepness of your searching is creator driven and led. Because why are you digging to find the creator so much? And in my case, why am I digging so much? It's not just for the sake of knowledge. I'm not trying to write no book out of this. I'm trying to find the creator. I want to know, was the Garden of Eden a real place? And I don't care if I am wrong. Because if I'm wrong, eventually by continuing to ask further questions, I will find out that I'm wrong, and then I can make corrections. So I have approached this whole thing of teaching different from how I thought initially, and different from how I thought in the Christian church. If I'm wrong about anything, once I learn I'm wrong, I'll just come back and just say I was wrong about this. Once I realize it's wrong. You see, too many of the older people who are teaching in the camps and in the Christian church, when they find out that they are wrong, they've been 20 years pastoring and teaching and so on, and there's no way they're going to come back and tell you in their church or in their camp that they were wrong. Some basic small things they'll say, yeah, I was wrong. I thought this verse was whatever, but it was verse 5 instead. And, little simpler things. But I'm talking about when they find out core things that are wrong, it's very difficult to come back and to say, because so many people have learned from you, and to change something that will just ransack your whole operation, your whole church or your whole camp. It's difficult, and people just ignore the truth once they realize that it's going to change everything, and people might desert them and leave them. They're too ashamed and so on. So they're like, we'll just leave it and just continue like that. Instead of cursing you, you know what? You should change. You should have the guts. If you have the guts to stand up and teach, you should have the guts to say, hey, I was wrong. This is the right way. But you know what? I feel your pain. Because in this life, we have been prey to so much deception that was intentional. Like sometimes, can you not just give yourself a break? And just to say, people might be upset at me because I'm changing, but, look at all the deception in the world. I'm sorry. This is really what I thought. All the information I knew was like this or was like that. And that's what I really saw at the time. And whoever wants to leave, let them go. Maybe for their life, they need to get up and go at that point, because they are in the Creator's hands. Because if the Creator is dealing with you and you want to apologize for teaching for 20 years something in your camp that you feel you now need to change because you see it clearer, then the Creator dealing with you that prompts you and moves you to make that kind of change might also be dealing with the next person who wants to leave your camp, because the Creator is dealing with them to leave. So your righteousness comes to the point where it makes you get up and apologize to people and say, I will teach this particular topic better because I now see that I was wrong. That's the move of the Creator in your life. But the move of the Creator in the next person's life may be that they should get up and go. Get up and leave this camp. There might have been some mandate or instruction in the spirit deep inside of them that they never understood all along, that said to them eventually one day, get up and go. It is now time. That might not mean that they are angry at you. Now, some of them could be, but some people, it might not be that they are angry and they hate you. It's just the time to get up and go. And the Creator is saying, now is your cue. Move on. And you never know where the Most High is leading that person to. You never know. Don't always blame people for leaving your camp. Don't always curse people for leaving your camp. Sometimes it is just the timing of the Most High. It's just the timing. Eli had his children doing some of the wrong things, and he fell to sleep with his eyes dim, and the light went out. And at the time when the light was going out, The Bible is telling us that Samuel was being raised up. You understand what I'm saying? The person who gets angry at you when you decide to change for the better, they're moved on now, they're gone, they're like, oh, I'm gone, I don't like this. They're leaving right now because of that thing that spurred it. But they already had an instruction from the Creator to go. It's just that something in your life is used to trigger the movement. Like sometimes you get in an accident, or sometimes something happens in your job or whatever, and then you just leave that job, or you move or whatever, right? It's just that certain things just trigger certain kinds of movements. So it might not be that the person hates you. They might not like it that you changed, but at the same time, they know in their heart that you were a great teacher all these years, because nobody is teaching the full 100% truth in anything as far as I've found. So they'll still credit you with that. The times when people start to hate you is when you try to hit them back for leaving. Why can't we just understand that the Creator moves people? Even Abraham got up and moved and went to someplace else. Israel got up and left Egypt, and the Egyptians were mad. So the Most High hit them. Different people move around and do different things. The Most High is in it all. Why not bless the person when they are leaving and just like really bless them with some good, kind words and support them like that? Instead, it's so easy for us to just tear down the other person, not knowing that you may be tearing down what the Most High is doing in the next person. Maybe they are able to leave at that point because they now have the strength to get up and go and do what the Most High wants them to do, go in that direction, because they learned from you the strength of a good leader who may have been wrong in one point and now decide to change and teach it better, but they saw in you the strength of a great leader in their camp, that you had the guts to stand up and say, I'm going to do what's right and teach this topic proper because I now know the right way to teach it. And they're like, man, what a great teacher, what a great brother. His heart is in the right place. When he found the truth, he said, I'm going to switch and teach it. And they admired that strength that you were able to do it. And so they're like, well, I can now find the strength in me to get up and move as well. Maybe they wanted to get up and do something else all along. Maybe they wanted to simply move out of town and whatever. Or maybe they wanted to move out of town to go take a job elsewhere, but just couldn't bear to leave you because people might curse them for leaving. And maybe not even curse them religiously for leaving the camp, but people in their neighborhood or in their family might be hard on them for trying to leave the area where the family all lives. Why are you going so far? Everybody lives here in this city. So they might just use that as a cue to now leave when they always felt driven to move someplace else. So it might not be religiously that they're moving because you switch and change your doctrine. It's just that that situation gave them the spurring, the kind of oomph and drive to say, I can get up and make that move that in my heart I always wanted to do. But because it comes at the same time, you feel their anger mad at you. And maybe there might be a little bit of anger, but nothing lasting necessarily. But we drag it on and make something bigger out of it that it wasn't intended to do. If people are moving, let them move. If people want to move on, let them move on. Your greatness as a leader is in how many people you can teach and instruct and pour into and have them move around and spread around the world, spread around the country, spread around your neighborhood, spread around your city, spread everywhere in life. Because those people have something that you deposited in them from the Most High. And everywhere they go, now you see that person, you helped to raise them up by the doing of the Most High as He worked through you. That's kind of like your spiritual seed, if I might say, spreading all around when people are moving. Don't always think it's a curse. It's a blessing that your seed that you poured into in your camp is able to move around instead of being stuck in a stalemate situation where they can grow no farther than where you are. After prophets lived a while and taught a while, they then died and moved on because somebody else had to be raised up. After Elijah got to that point where he started running from Jezebel and started the big bad Elijah, he took on everybody else, called on fire, did all kinds of stuff, spectacular stuff. When he got to the point where he's like, man, I'm done for now, I can't now, whatever. The Most High's like, you know what, your time has come now. Go raise up this other prophet, call Elisha. Sometimes you get to a point where it's just your time. And somebody else is going to be raised up. So in questioning, I realized that Samuel wanted to know basically the same thing I'm asking, who is talking to me? when he heard the voice, and he's like, here am I. And that's all I'm asking. It's not that I'm going astray, anything like that. He just wanted to know who is talking to me. And as I reread the Bible, starting from Genesis all over again, like I never read the Bible before, I'm asking all kinds of new questions and seeing all kinds of new things. And the reason why I'm asking some strong questions is because I want to know basically who in the world is talking to me when I read the Bible. Because I get all kinds of things coming into my mind. Who is this? I never see a person, but who speaks to me? And that's what Samuel started to wonder. But not just who is talking to me when I read the Bible, but who was talking to me before I ever knew what the Bible was. Because as a small child growing up in Jamaica, I heard voices inside of me drawing me to the Creator. I never knew any name for him at that point. I was so young. But when I grew up in the Christian church, they taught me his name was God and his name was also Jesus, and he was his own son. So before anybody taught me those things, I began to learn that there is some other presence calling me, speaking to me, driving me, visiting with me. And then my mother began to teach me how to pray. She would have us kneel down every night praying. Gentle Jesus, meek and mild, look upon this little child, rub his head with coconut oil, or whatever we used to say, make joke from it, right? That's how she taught me, because we grew up in the Christian church and that's all she knew as well. Right? But that's when I started to be taught. But on my own, I was already hearing something that let me know that there was something bigger and greater than all of us. Now let's look in 1 Samuel chapter 3 and verse 1. And the child Samuel ministered unto the Most High before Eli, and the word of the Most High was precious in those days. There was no open vision. So if there was no open vision, that means that it really would have been precious. Like, you just want to hear from the Most High now. It's like, because it's just not so common right then to see some strong move of the Most High. Certain things that happened before, but the presence of the Most High seemed like it was a little bit, when something is, pardon me for putting it this way, a little dull, like some silverware and you're shining it up. It's like the presence of the Most High was still there among Israel, but it's not quite the same. And so there was no open vision and people couldn't see quite clearly. So no open vision. You're not seeing anything quite the same way that it was seen by others before. Certainly not even like how Moses saw stuff. So here it is that the Bible is saying that Samuel ministered unto the Most High. Now you see the reason for my questioning? Because had I not started to reread from Genesis and begun to see, and I'm up to chapter 5, I'm getting to chapter 6 soon because I want to talk about Noah's flood and so on. But by questioning, I started to see something I never saw all these years when I was a small child. He ministered, but he didn't know the Most High. It didn't say he just went to church, but he didn't know the Most High. He ministered. He wasn't just attending Sabbath service, but he didn't know. He ministered unto. So he was being prepared and groomed for the ministry, performing the special things of the Most High, to be a priest and so on. All that special stuff that sets Israel apart and that makes contact with the Most High on behalf of the nation of Israel. He is learning to do this, and so he is ministering unto the Most High, and he doesn't even know the Most High. How do you minister unto God and you don't know him? You're serving and he doesn't know him. So Samuel ministered unto the Most High, but he did not know the Most High because he didn't have any personal call or experience that he could really own for himself, if you know what I mean, right? Now, verse 2, and it came to pass at that time when Eli was laid down in his place and his eyes began to wax dim, that he could not see. And notice when the There was no open vision. And notice when an open vision is going to start to come, or some contact is going to start come to Samuel, it's coming at a time when the man who should be giving instruction is starting to not see anymore. He's losing his sight. And sight comes to the young at the time when the older person is losing his. Even though we've been told from the scriptures that wisdom belongs to the aged, but here it is, when he is going out, Samuel has to now pick up and start his walk with the Most High and begin now to know the Most High, when the man who's supposed to be teaching him the finer, deeper things, when he really begins to know, that man is being taken out, so that Samuel has to learn to stand on his own. And you wish he would have been there to mentor Samuel some more after he began to really know the Most High, so that he could learn more strongly. But the Bible is telling us here that when he began to find the Most High, that the man who was there guiding him all this time is going out. And you're telling yourself, because someone taught you, that you can't find the Most High if someone doesn't tell you about him? You've heard enough. You've heard enough. When are you going to get up and stand up and begin to move for yourself, to do the things the Most High is calling you to do? When? All the people are going blind in your life. All the people are being moved out of your life. Like Eli's starting to go out of the life of Samuel. All those people that you've learned and trusted in the Christian church and in your camps, they're moving on, they're going on. Because they just can't go where you're going anymore. They're being removed from your life. Because you got to learn to stand on your own and know the Most High for yourself. The people might still be physically around you, but they are being moved out of your life because you are growing so much now. You're starting to grow in certain directions. They can't go with you right there. It scares the living daylights out of them. They are growing dim because they can't teach you the instruction that you need to learn for where you are beginning to go, because you are moving on in the direction that the Most High wants you to go. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Most High, and he lights your pathway. So if he's lighting you to walk in a certain kind of way, that other people didn't get that same kind of light because they dared not go further. You see, at some point even Eli left off of certain things and did not go further, even talking to his children in a kind of way that lets you see that he had left a certain left off of a certain amount of driving them to say, hey, do what the Most High wants, or get out of this place, get out of my house. But he allowed them. Verse 3, and ere the lamp of the Most High went out in the temple. And see again, the lamp went out when the man Eli, who's supposed to be running the place, he's supposed to be the pastor, the camp leader, the great teacher, the great guru, and the lamp is going out. The lamp is going out at a time when you would think that Samuel needed the lamp to see, because that would be representative of the presence of the Most High. The lamp is going out when the man is going blind and he's dying. Isn't that the time when the man Eli would more need the light to show the presence of the Most High, even to comfort him in his last days, that I might have made some mistakes and I might have grown a little bit weak all my life, but I need your strength more than ever now. The light should be staying, but the light still went out on him. And at the same time, when Samuel would need the light, when he's just coming into the light of his understanding and personal walk with the Most High, that's the time when Samuel needed the light, and the light is going out. Showing you that it's not about a physical thing when it comes to internal matters, but the light is inside of you, inside of your own heart. The light might be going out physically from the candle, from the menorah, but the light is shining inside of Samuel's heart until a voice comes and an open vision begins to break through to show the newness of life. Sometimes when you can't see anymore what your teacher is teaching you, is because the light is going out where your relation with them is concerned, as far as it concerns them teaching you certain things. Sometimes that light is going out to show you that you need to walk a different kind of walk, because the Most High is leading you in another direction for what you need to accomplish in your life for these end times. Doesn't mean they were wrong who taught you. Doesn't mean that pastor or that camp leader was wrong who taught you the other basic things to get into this thing and tell you you're an Israelite and so on. But there's more than just being an Israelite. Sometimes the Most High is letting that light go out where it doesn't satisfy you anymore. You need to move on. Get up and move on. And go to where the Most High is leading you, and stop talking about, I'm an Israelite, so they use the law to tell you you better stay put. The Most High says to some people, get up and go. And if you don't go, you're going to be stagnated where you are. They're going to stifle you where you are, because the Most High says go and you refuse to go. So partway through verse 3, the light went out in the temple where the ark of the Most High was, and Samuel was laid down to sleep. So there, he's laying down to sleep, same way how Eli is laying down to sleep. And at this time now, verse 4 says that the Most High called Samuel, and he answered, here am I. So the light's going out when Eli's eyes are getting dim, showing that Eli's time is being closed out and his walk with the Most High is being closed out, it's wrapping up. And he can't see, he can't function in quite the same way like he used to anymore. He can't even tell that, hey, this thing is gone. Because why didn't he just, if he knew it had gone, why didn't he say to Samuel, can you light that? How come he's teaching Samuel all these things and he doesn't teach Samuel who can see? When you see my eyes are getting dim, when you see the light going out, light it for me. Because it should stay on all the time. How come? Something was wrong with the leadership of Eli. Aged should have wisdom. Well, if that's the case, how come he didn't have the wisdom to tell Samuel, look, my eyes are suffering from physical deficiency here. Something is going on. I'm going the way of all the earth. I'm going older. Light that for me, and together we'll make this thing go till my last day, and you'll get more out of me that way. Because when the light stays on, there's more of the presence of the Most High. So somehow it seems Samuel was not instructed, or just did not know that he should get up and light that. It's like Eli did not pass on to him certain things. He passed on other things to him, but not all the other things. Where you are when the Most High is telling you to get up and go, if you got to leave that group, if you got to leave that camp, if you got to leave that church, if you got to leave that job, if you got to leave that city, if you got to leave that house, if you got to leave that whatever you got to leave, when it's time for you to get up and go, you'd better get up and go, or the light's going to go out right there. So here it is. In Samuel's case, the voice came, and he answered, here am I. And he ran unto Eli and said, here am I, for thou callest me. And he said, I called not. Lie down again. And he went and lay down. Now this man Eli, he still understood, because if the aged should have wisdom, he could tap into what was the voice of the Most High, because no doubt he would have heard the voice of the Most High all his life. So by experience he knew, but Samuel did not have that experiential knowledge, which is why earlier on it said he ministered, but later on in the verse he ministered, as I said earlier on, but it's going to show later on that he did not yet know the Most High. So Eli was used to the presence of the Most High, knew the Most High. So as it kept happening, Eli could tap into that and say, yeah, that's the Most High that's calling you. So he could give that instruction. But Samuel ministered and didn't know the Most High, didn't even know his voice. How are you serving God and don't know what he even sounds like? You don't know. You are around a priest that is so priestly that he's actually teaching you, and he's there for so long, well known in the land, and so long that he's now grown so old that he's losing his eyesight. I mean, that's like, he's growing weaker in his body and all that. So he's been around a long time, and you don't know how to tell God's voice when you hear it. You got to get up. You'd figure that since you don't see the Most High, one of the earliest things that Eli would have taught him was how to know the Most High. That's why I tell you, when the prompting comes, you got to get up and move, because some stuff people can't teach you. Some stuff you have to experience it. And until he experienced it for himself, Eli could not give him that instruction. Eli could only instruct him in the rest of it once he got the experience for himself and experienced the call of the Most High. When you get that experience that the Most High is dealing with you, you've got to know somehow from all the voices that you have heard teach you before that they're telling you it is the voice of the Most High. So you should know to get up and go. It's the next stage of your life. Get up. It is the Most High that's calling you to move forward. So he says, I called not, lie down again. And he went and lay down. Verse 6, and the Most High called yet again, Samuel. And Samuel arose and went to Eli. So he did the same thing all over again. Because like I said, he doesn't have the experiential knowledge yet of dealing with the Most High on that kind of level. Because he ministered, but he didn't really know the Most High. He was just going through the motions. You just get up and you just go to church. You just go to your regular Sabbath meeting. But you don't really know the Most High. So you let people tell you all kinds of stuff. Because you're not questioning and re-questioning to a deeper level all the time. Generations come and go, but the earth abides. That means there's some deepness there that continues to let the earth flourish and flow so that it supports generation. You aren't going to break anything with a new question that you ask. There is not even any new thing under the sun, the Most High says. Everything that's been asked that you're asking has been asked already. You aren't breaking anything. Some people just don't want you to ask the same questions that would have been asked before because it will release you from them. What do you think Abraham did in the house of his father when he's feeding all those gods and the gods wouldn't eat the food and he's like, oh, these gods are fake? He was asking himself a question as a way of asking the Creator a question. Who is the real God? Is there a real God? He was asking. So when you ask certain questions that get to the root of the matter, you aren't asking anything Moses didn't ask. You aren't asking anything Adam didn't ask. You aren't asking any question Abraham didn't ask. You are asking all the questions that have been asked from time gone by. From the first man ever had a question to ask. You are not breaking anything by asking and inquiring. And so Samuel did the same inquiring. He got up a second time. He went back to deal with the matter with Eli. And he went to Eli and said, here am I, for thou didst call me. He's saying, yeah, I'm not crazy. You did. And said, here am I, for thou didst call me. And he answered, I called not, my son, lie down again. Now, Samuel did not yet know the Most High. So he's serving and he didn't know the Most High. He's playing the keyboard, the piano, but he didn't know the Most High. He's playing the drums, but he didn't know the Most High. He's been preaching for 20 years. He didn't know the Most High. He's been teaching on the street in Hebrew garments, but he didn't know the Most High. Neither was the word of the Most High. Didn't know the Most High because you've been teaching for so long, but you're just regurgitating the same old stuff that they taught you from 25 years ago, and you don't know the Most High because at the time when the Most High came to you, you refused to step out on your own and move in the direction the Most High was saying, so you're stuck right there, and he did not know the Most High. This is when Samuel is going to break out and begin to become his own person with the Most High, his own priest before the Most High. Neither was the word of the Most High yet revealed unto him. Imagine that, serving the Most High and ministering to him, but the Most High was not yet revealed. How do you minister based on a word, but the word was not yet revealed unto you? How? I thought you were ministering based on a word, but you don't know the word was not yet revealed. Oh my goodness. In verse 8, and the Most High called Samuel again the third time, and he arose and went to Eli. Notice how they're saying here, and he arose. They're telling you that he got up in a different kind of way. He's like, I'm going to deal with this time. I'm getting somewhere else with it this time, because yeah, this thing is really happening to me. He stood, he arose, right? And he's like, let's deal with this stuff. Now, this word arose here, kum, if one of the meanings here is that it's saying to stand and to maintain oneself, to establish and to be confirmed. So basically this third time Samuel said, I'm getting somewhere this time. It's like something in his spirit made him get up in that kind of way where he's going to confirm something now, because the Most High was putting it in his spirit to confirm the call of the Most High upon him. So he stood or arose in a confirmed manner because something was going on inside of his spirit that was going to move him in a different direction. Don't let people take away what the Most High is doing in your life. And went to Eli and said, here am I, for thou didst call me. And Eli, the aged man who had the wisdom of the years and the experience, perceived that the Most High had called the child. So you see that? You've learned so much. You need to understand people are going to be there to teach you. But they're going to be there to teach you up to a certain level. And the selfish ones will not let you know that they have perceived certain things about you. Those ones will perceive it and they will hide it. They will keep it down. They will keep it hidden. But the ones who are going to still be trying to look out for your best, they will perceive that it's the Most High, and they will release you and push you and move you on to where the Most High needs you to go. That's how you know that's a sign of a healthy leader right there. I knew this man one time years ago when I was in the Christian church. He's like, their pastor prophesied to him from like, nearly 3 decades ago, when he just came to the church, that God's going to raise him up and he's going to minister and do all this kind of stuff. And he never got up to do anything. Now he is so old and his hair is falling out from his head. And he's just about at retirement age now. And now he's just going to move from the church and go live someplace else. Actually, he was leaving the country. Because it's not happening. I'm like, this man is losing his hair. And the rest of it is thinning out. And the wrinkles are coming in. And he believes in the Christian religion that that's what God is dealing with. But that's what I thought at the time too. But here it is, he got prophecy, he said, from God through the pastor that God's going to do whatever. And he's sitting waiting for the pastor to raise him up. And it's not happening. I'm like, then get out of this place. If you think it is this place and it's not happening, get up and go. Because if it's going to be this place, they're going to tell you, well, you're disobedient by leaving the place. Well, if it's not happening and they're getting old, you're going to die. What's the problem if you move? Because if God said it's going to be in this place, it's going to happen, then he'll bring you back. Because if he's telling you it is this place, nothing you do is going to stop it. You have to look at your years and say, well, until it happens in this place, I'm going to go over here and do something else so I can still be productive until the thing happens that the Most High wants in this other place. But because he did nothing at all, nothing happened. But Samuel stood up to confirm the word. Verse 10, and the Most High came and stood and called. You see that Samuel arose, so he stood up with confirmation, but the Most High also stood as well to confirm the whole thing. And the Most High came and stood and called as at other times, Samuel, Samuel. You see that as at other times, you just call him. You've been hearing the same word for so many years and you're still sitting down in the same spot, not moving, not trying to do anything. And it never happens because you take no action to fulfilling the things that you believe the Most High is calling you for. And he called as at other times. And then Samuel answered, speak, for thy servant heareth. So Samuel did something different eventually. His questioning the whole situation led him to do something different now. The more he learned from Eli, through his searching of what's happening, what's going on, led him to the place where he could respond differently. And so my questioning of these things of the scriptures of Adam and Eve and the Garden of Eden leads me to do other things. Leads me to consider other things. Lead me to open up some other things. Right? And so it is in your life. You are supposed to question. Don't stay into a stalemate kind of situation where the only thing that you've read in that commentary is the same thing that you're going to think and believe 25 years from now. Because you never dare to question outside of the commentary. You never dare to question something else. The commentary is put there in that book that you bought because that was the understanding of that person, what came to them at that point when they wrote that book 25 years ago. Well, what comes to you when you read the word of the Most High? When are you going to write your own commentary? You're letting everybody else own the commentaries of the world? When are you going to own one for yourself? And you say you are the one that the Most High is dealing with. And verse 11, and the Most High said to Samuel, behold, I will do a thing in Israel, at which both the ears of everyone that heareth it shall tingle. Why is he saying it like that? Because earlier on he told you there was no open vision. So now the Most High is saying this vision is so open, it's going to open up the ears, so much ears are going to tingle. It's going to just like burst forth. So strong and powerful, nobody's going to say anymore there is no open vision right here, because everybody's going to know an open vision has come to Israel again, finally. Because Samuel dared to question and to search and to look into what was going on in the prompting in his heart. He heard a voice in his heart. It's like, how can I hear this word right now? There's no open vision, so I shouldn't be hearing anything. The Most High isn't speaking to me, so I shouldn't be hearing anything laying on my bed. The Most High isn't speaking to me because I'm not a camp leader or I'm not a pastor. He's not speaking to me because I'm done, I'm washed up, my marriage is done, my job is gone, my bills are out of what, my everything, I lost my child, my everything. The Most High can't be dealing with me because I got nobody around me to teach me all this stuff. The Most High can't be. And that's why it doesn't happen to you, because you've convinced yourself that it can't happen. But Samuel stood up to confirm the thing, to know in himself that the thing is happening, because the reality is I'm sensing it right now, so it is happening right now. But you convince yourself that you are not having feelings. When the Most High speaks to you, it happens in your feelings, because your thoughts generate feelings inside of you, and you hear by thoughts. So when Adam heard the voice of the Most High, he felt something. He even felt the shame as well and hid, to say, hey, we heard your voice and we hid because we were ashamed. They felt something. The voice of the Most High brings feelings. Thoughts come by way of the activity of spirit, which makes you feel something in your mind that lets you translate those feelings into thoughts that translate eventually into words that you know and speak in whatever language it is that you speak on the earth, wherever you are. Your feelings indicate to you that the Most High is speaking and dealing to you. Stop ignoring your feelings because somebody told you you shouldn't feel that. Even animals in nature sense when other animals are coming around. They sense when humans are coming. They sense danger. You see a deer or something, they're eating, they're nice, they're comfortable. Some other animal come that might be some kind of predator, and it's dangerous to them, and their back is turned because the animal is creeping slowly upon them to try to pounce on them from behind, and they don't even see, but they sense. Their sight is not there because the animal is behind them and they can't see, but they just sense, and they pick up their head and they look on their left, right, they move their head, they still can't see. They haven't turned fully backward yet, so they're not seeing fully behind them, but they just sense. And you got some stealthy, very, very, created by the creator, of course, very, very stealth mode kind of movements from some animals that never are heard. So that means that some of these animals aren't hearing necessarily from the regular audible sounds that we are used to, but they are sensing something. They're hearing something on another level. And their feelings tell them something is going on. Danger is close. And when you get your feelings, you say if your camp teacher who is bad in the Hebrew and bad in Old Testament knowledge doesn't approve of it, then it's not right, and so you stay stuck. I'm not saying sometimes people aren't wrong, but more times you could have been right. But you learn to trust your teacher and never to trust yourself. If you can trust your teacher, why can't you trust you when the Most High is dealing with you? Yet you say one day you're going to have to give an answer to the Most High yourself on Judgment Day. Yet you dare not live for yourself today. And you're going to answer all kinds of judgment in front of the Most High for things that you believed only from what people taught you, and you never dared to stand up and to walk your own path that the Most High is leading you. What if Abraham never got up and crossed the Euphrates? What if? What would become of the people known today as Israel? What if Joseph had said in that prison, no, that couldn't be the Most High speaking to me. The answers to these dreams, this butler is giving me, and the baker is giving to me. No, because if I say the wrong thing, if it's not the Most High, if I say the wrong thing, and it goes up like that before the Pharaoh, eventually they're going to really kill me down here. And doubted himself. What if Joseph had said, this is not the Most High? What would have happened to two of the tribes, what would happen to the Bible today? What if Moses had turned away and said, no, that burning bush, my eyes, I'm not seeing right. I must be starting to, no. The heat from this desert is getting to me. No. What if Moses had said, no, it can't be? The people in the Bible, when compared to us today, they got up and they moved, they take action. We are so scared because the same religion that we study from, the book that we study from, is used by expert teachers to tell you that God is not talking to you except when they speak unto you. Get up and move. Get up and do the will of the Most High in your life, or it will kill you where you stand. So now in verse 4 and 5 now, as Samuel talks to the Most High, it's like he's talking to Eli, because the Most High is dealing with him. The Most High is speaking to him, and Eli is also speaking to him, because when he hears the Most High speaking to him, he doesn't know yet that it's the Most High, because he didn't know the Most High. He's administering all along, but he doesn't know the Most High's voice. So he doesn't know the word of the Most High. He knows Torah, but he doesn't know the Most High. How do you know Torah from scrolls that were there, but not know the voice of Torah? The voice that spoke the Torah. How in the world? And you're still limiting yourself by what somebody else teaches you? Don't even limit yourself by what I'm telling you here today in this recording. Grow as far as the Most High has given in your life for you to grow. Whatever He has mandated for you, that's how far you grow. Abraham, Moses, Joshua, all these other people, Elijah and Elisha, they didn't limit themselves by what the person before them had. They just grew however the Most High wanted. Elisha didn't limit himself by what Elijah did. Abraham, Joshua. Abraham didn't say Shem did this and had that experience and so on, but I'm not going to have this other experience. I'm not going to get up and move. Abraham might have said, hey, this, that, or whatever, but he still, he had his own experience, right? These guys didn't limit themselves. They went with the prompting that they felt. They did how they were driven. But they learned from each other as well. So you balance the sensation of the prompting with what the teachings are. You got to give thought to the teaching on a different level. As long as you keep thinking of the teachings of Torah the same way you've always thought of it, that they told you, you will never do anything different. You got to think Torah on a different level. A different level. They tell us that the people of the Most High went to Egypt and taught them wisdom, because these people working with the Most High didn't limit themselves by anybody else before them. They just moved according to how the Most High moved them. So Joshua didn't say, I'm not going to conquer any more than what Moses did. Moses just dealt with the Egyptians and the water separated and set us free. No, Joshua said, I'm going to move on. I'm going to conquer more. All these Canaanites right here. I'm just going to move in and we're just going to start doing our thing. Joshua said, I'm going to do what can be done right here. And he moved on to conquering and doing the things that was set up in his life to get done. If you're just trying to mimic your camp leader and mimic your pastor, you will never find the other ideas that the Most High wants to come into your life. As long as you stay, you will be limited by their ideas and all the ideas that can only come to you based on where you are at under their leadership. But the leader that the Most High is calling in your life for you to be is going to have you launch out and branch out and spread yourself some more, so that other ideas can come out of the movements that you make. And as you move some more, other ideas grow and take form and take shape in your life. That's greater than even the idea that you feel and sense right now. So he's hearing two voices now. He's hearing the voice of the Most High, but when he gets up and he goes to Eli, he's hearing Eli's voice. So at this point, because he did not know the voice of the Most High, this Samuel cannot distinguish between the two voices. He's just bouncing between two voices. he's like, he hears Samuel, Samuel, so that's one voice, and then he goes and he hears Eli says, oh, go back and lay down, I didn't call you. He's bouncing between two voices because he cannot distinguish between the two. If he could distinguish between the two, he would have known one was the voice of Samuel, of Eli, but the other is not the voice of Eli. It must be the voice of the Most High. I'm in the presence of a priest, and this is not his voice, and all he's teaching me is priest stuff, so this must be the voice of the giver of Torah. This is the Most High. He could not distinguish until you begin to get up and question some more things. Why is it like this? Why does it have to be like this? What does this mean? What does that mean? What more can I learn past what my great camp teacher has already learned and taught me? What more? Until you begin to question further, you will not be able to distinguish and learn the difference between the two voices. One that's keeping you in the camp or in the Christian church, and the other that wants to launch you out and take you further, for you to wade out further into the waters. One will keep you at the shore and tell you that is the sea. The other will get you to go out to sail and to move away from where the light grows dim, and to relight and rekindle a new, brighter fire that will make the ears tingle when people hear, what? There's a brighter fire, a stronger fire? Because it'd be like that light that Eli was doing, those teachings Eli was going on with was just going dimmer and dimmer, and weaker teachings from him as the light grew dim and went out into the temple. But when Samuel begins to light his own fire of his relationship with the Most High, the new, stronger light begins to come up in the land of Israel, until even a king came out of it. The Most High said to Samuel, yeah, let them get their kingdom. They don't want me as king. And some new activity begins to happen in the land of Israel, in the nation of Israel, until even the greatest King David came out of what Samuel did when the fire was lit in his life, after the fire went out in Eli's time. If Samuel never got up to launch out, you would have never heard David being anointed by Samuel like that. You got to get up and do what the Most High wants you to do. You can meet David, so to speak, in your life, but because you will not get up and move on, and you let others hold you back, you will never stand in front of David, and David will never approach you. Greatness will never approach you. David was the picture of greatness at that point. Other prophets had other great things that they did. In Samuel's life, one of the greatness that can be spoken of his life is that he was the one who called out King David, a man after the Most High's heart. So prophets then, since he had to learn to distinguish between the two, prophets didn't just learn from Eli like Samuel learned from Eli. Prophets don't just learn from their pastor, from their guru, from their imam, from their camp leader, from their camp teacher. Prophets don't just learn from people on YouTube and online and whatever. Prophets don't just learn from other people, learn from the $14.95 book they bought off the Christian store bookshelf or online. Prophets don't just learn from other people. They get their inspiration from the Most High directly. So that when he said to him, it's the voice of the Most High, go back and start to deal with the Most High now directly. Prophets get their inspiration from the Most High eventually. They learn to deal with the Most High. You have to learn to stop learning from people about the God that you're dealing with and start hearing from that God yourself. Let me give some scriptures here. Job chapter 32 and verse 7. I said days should speak and multitude of years should teach wisdom. Verse 8, but there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. That's what Samuel was dealing with when he was questioning the whole situation. And that's what I've been dealing with when I'm saying I need to ask some questions here. How do we know it's the Hebrew language? Now I have my doubts, but if it is, all I will do in the end is find out. But my questioning leads me to search to find it out, because I want to verify, I want to find out this faith that I have. Right? And so when you begin to question things, the Most High is going to speak to you, is going to lead you to uncover other things. because the Almighty will begin to deal with you through your questioning and your searching. And verse 15, they were amazed. They answered no more. They left off speaking, because when the Most High begins to deal with you on a certain level and you follow the Most High and go where He's leading you, eventually some people are just going to have to shut their mouths. They're going to fight you at first, but eventually the Most High is going to have His way happen in your life. And so through all the questioning that Job did in the book of Job, by the time it came to the end of his book, the book named after his name, titled after his name, we saw that he drew closer to the Most High through what? A lot of questioning. And the religious people right there around him, his good friends, his good whatever, the guardians of Torah in their nice Hebrew garments, and they're, whatever, they're trying to fight him down. Don't ask those certain questions. Don't say this of the Most High. Don't think that of the Most High. How dare you? But he questioned nonetheless. And look how it turned out for him. They made him feel like a sinner, unrighteous. You evil man, for asking questions about God that the ancients did not even teach. Right? So people want to box you up in that situation, tell you, our camp didn't teach us 5 years ago, 20 years ago. Don't you dare ask those questions. We don't want that stuff up in here. We don't answer those kind of questions up in our camp. We don't even deal with stuff like that. Don't bring that stuff here. Psalm 45 and verse 1. To the chief musician upon Shoshanim, for the sons of Korah, Mashil, a song of love. My heart is inditing, a song of loves, my heart is inditing a good matter. I speak of the things which I have made touching the king. My tongue is the pen of a ready writer. Hear that? David here, my tongue. You see, he says, my heart is indited in a good matter. It's a heart thing. No matter what he has read from the ancient scrolls, something is going on in his heart. He is reading from the pages of his heart, because Torah does not belong on pages of papyrus or pages of a book. Torah belongs in the heart. And as he muses on the words, his heart reads and his mouth pens. Right? His tongue pens, his tongue writes the things that came into his heart. His tongue is the pen of a ready writer. And so if his tongue is the pen of a ready writer, who is teaching him all the things that he is saying? He has learned stuff from other people, from the ancients that came before him and that wrote stuff down. But he writes as well as he is moved, because the heart thinks, the heart feels, the heart is driven, the heart is indited in a good matter. The heart is led by the Most High. Psalm 49 and verse 3, my mouth shall speak of wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall be of understanding. Meditating from the heart. Because he's trying to find meditation. He's questioning and he's thinking and he's wondering about things. He's trying to find the Most High. No matter how much was written down in whatever scrolls were there, David was not satisfied with what was written. He had to question and search and meditate in his heart to find the Most High. He was searching for the Creator. Samuel answered, here am I, initially, because the heart was searching. He got up and went to Eli because the heart was searching. He went back and he answered again, here am I, because the heart was still considering and wondering and searching things, until he kept on repeating just a regular answer that everybody has taught. Everybody else would have said, just say, here am I, here am I, here am I, because that's what the Bible says. But he pushed it so far to the limit that eventually he questioned and searched so much that he got a different response. That's why I question. That's why you should question. The Most High is coming to you daily because He wants you to ask some new questions about the same old Torah you have heard. Verse 4 from Psalm 49. I will incline, my heart shall be of understanding. I will incline mine ear to a parable. I will open my dark saying. See that? He's wondering and questioning and musing, searching in the deepness of the heart, in the stillness of the times that he had available to him. Psalm 14 and verse 2. The Most High looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand and seek the Most High. Just like Samuel ministering but didn't know the Most High. You could just be ministering, doing everything, teaching your classes and whatever, but you don't know the Most High. The Most High is looking down to see if there was any that did understand and seek. Not just understand, because people will teach you stuff like Samuel was taught certain things by Eli, but Samuel didn't have certain kinds of understanding. But Samuel had to learn. You might understand what Eli has taught you from the Torah that was written down before whatever writings they had, but you must also seek past that understanding. Let that understanding be the springboard for further seeking and searching. Samuel answered because he was seeking. How are you going to ever have an answer if you never go on seeking? Psalm 24 and verse 6. This is the generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, O Jacob. You see that? They're not content. These people are not content with just simply saying they know the Most High because we're Israelite and we got the Torah, it was given to us, but they're going to keep on seeking. This is the kind of people the Most High is looking for. This kind of people is the kind of people he's growing. So the generation there is speaking of continuation of seed and lineage. It just don't stop just because you say you know. But this is the generation that continues, of them that seek the Most High, that continue to seek thy face. That's what he's saying, because even up until the end, even in our captivity, he said, seek to find me. And in the end again, he says, when the children of Israel will gather together and will seek the Most High, their power. And then he will return and deliver them. Two more verses and I'll close out again from the book of Psalms. Psalm chapter 105 and verse 4. Seek the Most High and his strength. Seek his face evermore. That means it just don't stop. Seek him evermore. Even after Samuel was set up and Eli died, Samuel didn't stop searching and seeking to know the Most High. He continued to minister before the Most High, continued to seek and sacrifice to the Most High. Why? He continued to seek to be with the Most High. It never stopped in Samuel's life till the very end. Eli seemed to have died down with it a little bit until the light went out, but Samuel went to the end of his days just seeking the Most High. Final verse here, Psalm 27 and verse 4. Hear what David's like. One thing have I desired of the Most High, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house. See that? The seeking never ends, because he's saying he wants to dwell. In other words, he wants to live there. He wants it to be his home. And if it's his home, that means it's never ending. It's his place of abode. So he will never stop dwelling there, never stop living there, which means he will never stop seeking the Most High. That I will seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Most High all the days of my life. Why all the days? Because the seeking never stops, just like the dwelling will never stop. To behold the beauty of the Most High and to inquire in his temple. I never want to stop inquiring. I never want to stop asking. I never want to stop being in a sanctuary of his presence, to find the mysteries of what has gotten a hold of me when and before I first read the Bible up until this day. What gets a hold of me when I read the pages of this book? I want to know, so I keep searching and I keep asking. What is this mystery about Adam? Is Adam the first man? What is the story about? Who is the Most High? What is he like? When will he come to deliver us? Who are the children of Israel? Not because I don't already believe we're the children of Israel, but who are they? I continue to ask and seek and search, so I can find out as much as I can. Because in the end, it's the Most High I want to know. Why would he set up this kind of people? What's he trying to do by setting them up, then taking them down, only to bring them back up? What are the ways of the Most High? I search, I seek. And that's where I want to dwell, in a sanctuary of seeking and searching. Because my heart is indicted in a good matter, like David said. And I want to know the Most High, to inquire in his temple. Shalom.